All right, everyone. So today we are going to be doing a tutorial on season planning. What I've got on the left side here is a bunch of resources, including the schedule, the website, and some stuff from Swimming Canada. And what I've got here is the actual document that we're going to be filling out today. So the first thing I've done is I've just created the title for my group and a little header saying that this is our season plan or outline. And then I've got a bunch of things like our practice times, the type of kids we're going to be working with, dryland priorities, in-water priorities, some fundamentals, training goals, dryland plan, what a week looks like, test sets, swim meets, and our meet warm-up. So let's just jump right in. First thing we need to know before we can plan anything else is when we have access to the pool. So on the left-hand side here, we have our practice times, and I can just find my group, which is Tundra, and we see Tundra practices Monday, 5:45 to 7, and all these other times. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that in. Boom, got our practice times now. Source for that was the schedule. Next, we're going to talk about the LTAD. Now, LTAD stands for Long-Term Athlete Development. It's a model created by Swimming Canada and a bunch of other people to basically give you some guidelines for what certain ages of swimmers should be working on so that they can be the best when they get older. So scrolling through the LTAD document, which is this one here, it's got a lot of information in it. So one thing that's really important is that swimmers are broken down in the different phases of their career based on their chronological and kind of biological age. So just looking through this document, it starts off with, the little ones, kind of those active start age 0 to 6, the fundamentals, which is age 5 to 8, 6 to 9. And then for my group, which is mostly like, Div 2 with some younger Div 3s, it's going to be a learn to train group because we've got these chronological ages right here. So I'm going to put in that my group is a learn to train group. I think, okay, well, what are my dryland priorities for this group, right? And if you actually read this, you'll see that this stage is important for things like movement skills, getting their technique down. And then here we can see that there's some recommendations like doing some medicine balls, own body weight exercises, hopping, some basic flexibility stuff. So I can add that right in to my dryland priorities. So that's that motor skills and speed, the medicine ball stuff and flexibility. Then we've got our in-water priorities, which falls under like technical, tactical, and also these water goals right here. So what I can put in here is that we know that we want a lot of development of swimming skills for this age group. We know that we want to continue to work on things like strokes, starts, turns, underwater skills, and that's basically what I just put over here. Next, this is kind of a personal thing that I like to put in is the fundamentals for that group. What is the minimum kind of standard that we are going to set on the first day of the season that's going to make these kids better, right? We know that streamline is a very fundamental concept for swimming and basically learning how to mitigate drag. So teaching proper streamlines right from the start, getting proper push-offs like sinking down and pushing off a streamline, and then doing somewhere from 3 to 6 dolphin kicks off of every wall. It'll teach you a lot more than doing 0 or 1 if you're lucky. So then the training goals. This is going to be personal, but also based on the LTAD. You can see here we have recommendations for how much physical activity these swimmers should be doing. So they should be swimming 4 to 7 hours a week. We've got 5 hours, that's perfect. And they want to be swimming somewhere from 8 to 14 kilometers a week. So if they were swimming 5 times a week and they're doing 8K total, then they're going to be doing like 1.6K a practice. If they're doing 14, then it's going to be more than that. And basically, we can put that in here that we want to do 8 to 14K per week. That's 2K per hour. Because if you're swimming 4 times a week, you'll be 8. If you're swimming 7, then you'll be 14. Last year, we always want to have kids progressing forward with what they're doing. They want to do more than their previous, or they want to do it better. So last year we started at 1,600, built up to like 2.2K, and then did 2.4K max. This year we're going to start right at 2K and go higher and do more than that. Then the dryland plan is going to be very much linked into the dryland priorities here, as well as our schedule. So I'm going to look at the schedule and say, okay, so who are we swimming with 5:45 to 7? We've got Kraken Guard in at the same time. Those kids are a relatively similar age group. It's not seniors and minis, so maybe they could play a game together or something, right? I look on Tuesday morning and go, oh, it's Kraken Guard again. Maybe this is a group we can play games with or do some similar activities in. We go Wednesday, we go, oh, look, it's Kraken Guard again. And maybe here we find out that, oh, we're in as the same time as all the minis or something like that. So essentially, that is how you are going to put together your dryland plan. You're going to take a look at the other groups that are in, you're going to look at your dryland priorities, and you're going to develop something, right? So maybe it's a game with Krakengard, or maybe they're doing some bodyweight work, or maybe some motor skills like running ladders, maybe they're doing some more bodyweight work, or maybe they're doing a game. Next is going to be a personal thing, the microcycle. And the microcycle is basically how you take these pool times and make it into something that you can teach skills and hit training and that sort of thing. So as an example, last year, I want to focus all sorts of skills, strokes, starts. This stands for body position, arms, breathing, timing, just breaking down all those factors and really building them up to be great technical swimmers. So what I came up with personally was on Monday, we're going to do butterfly and backstroke. You know, what are common between those two things? What can we work on? Maybe push-offs along underwaters, vertical kick, right? Breaststroke's kind of the odd one out. So maybe you do that like on its own day, or maybe you combine it with fly and do like a dolphin thing. It's really up to you how to break it up. But as you can see in this little cycle here, I'm hitting butterfly 1, 2, twice. Backstroke 1, 2, twice. Freestyle 1, 2, twice. And breaststroke really, really well once, and maybe second on an individual medley day or instead of fly on Sunday. Next, test sets. Test sets are a useful way to gauge your swimmer progress, because if your goal is to increase their kicking speed and their kick goes from 40 seconds to 30 seconds, then you know that you've achieved that goal, right? So for this age group, I'm not going to get them to do like 400 kicks as like an aerobic thing. I'm just going to get them to go general kicking ability, 50 flutter kick, 50 choice kick, maybe 20 time, and then maybe 100 IM in their race or their swim meets, so that I can have a better idea of their skill development, right? And this will test flutter kick ability, other kick ability, just kind of a speed thing and skill development. And that's all tied into the goals for the specific learn to train stage and their in-water priorities. Everything's connected in that. So swim meets. Swim meets can be found on the White Rapids website right here under general, and you'll see that we've got all these different weekends where they're going to be away, and you can use that to plan how you're going to set up goals for those, right? So what I've got here is we've got 15 weeks of the season. First week's gone to group placements, but we're basically starting right here. Basically, you're going to start off in the most fundamental things, like, you know, getting them to use the clock, getting them to circle swim, and fundamental technical goals such as keeping legs and holding a proper body position. So maybe we start off with that, and then we move into more complex things like timing. We practice underwaters, then we fast. Then we want to be really good at underwaters. Then as we get more into the season, they've got the fundamentals down. We get really into things like stroke technique and real fine tuning. Then we revisit things like underwater so that they can get even better at it. We advance their skills. Then at regionals, we just get them feeling confident, make some corrections before provincials, and fine-tune things so they can have a great last meet. Finally, this isn't really a huge deal, but what I like to put in there is their meet warm-up, because that could change from group to group as we move through the different age groups. And what I've just got here is 100 free, 100 back, 100 IM, because it's just so much easier when we've got our 15-minute warm-up time to kind of jump in and everybody knows what they are doing. So that's what we're going with. Maybe for the minis, it'll be like a 50 free, 50 back type of thing. But for this group, they're definitely capable of doing this. So that's the season outline at a glance in like, I don't know, it's probably been like 3 minutes, but things like practice times, their stage, these are things that we have resources for. It's not like you're just making it up. You don't have to anyways. And then kind of putting all of this stuff together to say, okay, so we know we need to work on all these different things, right? And then maybe you find a way to do it on a weekly basis. And then you string a bunch of those weeks together under a common theme, and suddenly you're helping them get way, way better at those things. Anyways, this comes to the end of the video now. So thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. Message me on Slack.